Disclaimer. The following footage contains opinions of myself and the guest. This is not to be taken seriously. Please do try this at home and provide any differences in the comments. Thank you. Enjoy the video. Alrighty, in theory, you'll have just seen a disclaimer before this video. We do have a very special guest with us today. As you'll have probably no doubt seen from the previous 9 tier lists, we have Quinn with us normally, but not today. Quinn has been fired, and we now have a guest. We have a guest with us today. Hello, Rem.
Hello. I can't wait to make people who know Rainbow at all upset.
Okay, so tier list in front of us. I have got a list of Rainbow Six Siege operators. Now, and I'm sure I'm about to be corrected if I get this wrong, an operator is a playable character in the game Rainbow Six Siege. And what I have in front of me right now is an ordered list of earliest to latest release, earliest being top left. Now, what I believe is about to happen is Rem here is about to give us some very interesting opinions, very, very strong opinions on some of these characters.
Oh, yes.
We have roughly 50 characters to get through. So, without further ado, let's get going.
All right.
You'll
so
have to
we're
tell
gonna
us
start...
who these are, of course, because...
Yeah. We're gonna obviously start earliest and work our way down. We're gonna start with the Mute. Mute's good. I'd say probably a B tier to start off with, and I'll give you guys. I'll when I'm going through the operators, I'll try to give you guys a general summary of what their ability is, because every operator has their own special ability and such. Mute has little handheld routers, 4 of them, that jam all electronics that are within the vicinity.
That sounds useful.
It is. However, it has a few key flaws. For one, its radius is not that large. They used to be a good wall denial, because if you tried to breach a wall or reinforced wall, all except one hard breacher use electronics. But recently, in last season, I believe, they actually shrank down the radius a bit and changed it a bit, so now it can't get the full wall.
Ooh.
So the top is able to be breached. And as wall denial, he just gets outclassed by other wall denial operators.
Let's move on, because otherwise we're going to be here for an hour, and I don't particularly want to do a 2-part episode of this. Well, we can We can do if you want to go into a bit more detail with each of the operators, if you like. I do not mind doing 2 episodes of this.
Some operators I'm not going to need to go that in depth with. Smoke is A tier.
Mm-hmm.
Smoke is an A tier. They are good personnel denial. They have smoke canisters that release a poisonous gas.
Ooh,
that damage any operators, friend or foe, that are standing in it, and it provides a small vision decrement.
Okay. Fun.
He's got good weapons and generally just a really good denial source. Now moving to attackers for SAS, we've got Sledge. Sledge is I don't use Sledge much, but Sledge is objectively a good operator, so Sledge is A as well.
A tier. Okay.
Sledge, 25 hits of a sledgehammer that can break soft walls, break cams. Really, just he's good destruction to have. He's just objectively really good. Thatcher, who is our next attacker, S tier, very good. He's got good weapons, And his big thing is that he has EMP grenades that disable all electronics within their radius. He's essentially attacking mute, but he can throw them. He's almost necessary to get into walls that are electrified or whatever. And he's just a good way to just create a bit of a distraction or give yourself an easier way in. Castle. Castle is probably, I'd probably say D tier.
Ooh dear, the first one that gets a failing grade.
Yeah, Castle, great in premise. He can put up walls or like barricades on windows and doors that are harder to get through. But in our current day and age, it's just so incredibly easy to get through them. Any explosive device can get through them. If you've got a sledge can break through. They eat up some utility, but not enough, especially seeing as you hit it 7 times and it breaks open, and it gives a pretty hard to deny way to stop fuses, which we will get to fuse later. In some way, and if you're not working with a team, it's more of a hindrance to have a random playing castle than a help.
Okay.
Pulse. This is where my personal vendetta gets in, because Pulse can be good, but I do not like Pulse. Pulse is irritating to me. I'd say Pulse is a C tier.
Pulse is a C tier. What is Pulse?
Pulse has a small camera that can detect the heartbeats of enemies up to 10 meters away from him. Through walls, through windows, through anything. You can be beneath someone and see where they are exactly. You can't shoot while doing this, but it's very helpful. However, he's just kind of annoying and irritating to use and go against, in my opinion. He's very meh.
Okay.
Ash, B tier. Right in the middle.
Yep.
Ash is if you don't want to play Rainbow Six Siege when you're playing Rainbow Six Siege, essentially. Ash has a grenade launcher that can breach soft walls and such. Really what Ash does is they've got good guns, and they've got ways to break into sight really quick. You run in, you start playing COD. Very middle of the road, very meh. Thermite. Thermite's going in A tier.
I've actually played Thermite.
Yes, Thermite's good. Thermite is the first of a subset of operators known as hard breachers. They can bust through metal walls that are reinforced. Good guns. Well, good gun. Shotgun's meh. But
Shotguns
he's got
are
a good...
always meh in that game.
Yeah, but he's got a good gun. He's a good hard breacher. He busts open walls of any sort really large. He's just a good all-around character to have. Moving on to our lovely Frenchies, Doc. Doc is a B tier. Doc is good for the team. They're a healer, hence the name. They've got 3 stim shots where you can shoot anyone with it and it will heal them a decent chunk of health. However, you can also heal yourself with it, so you run into the problem of someone being too selfish, or if your doc does not last long enough, you no longer have a healer and you just have a wasted operator slot, essentially.
Right.
On the other hand, I'd say Rook is an A tier.
I've played Rook before as well.
Yeah, Rook is in a similar vein to Doc, but in my opinion, better with the execution. Rook places down quote-unquote bulletproof vests that everyone on the team can get one. You can put it down right at the beginning of the map or the round, and it just boosts up your health. Just
Mm-hmm.
blanket boosts the health of whoever puts one on, and as long as the rook puts the armor down, their job is done. They can do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
They have become they are the most useful they can
They've
be.
done everything they can do,
Yeah,
basically.
like uh special ability wise, um Twitch. Twitch is S tier.
Okay.
Twitch has special drones that can shoot lasers. They are great for getting in and denying enemy gadgets. Reconnaissance, you also get 3 drones rather than 2, so you get extra time to view operator like the enemies, see what they're doing. All around, they're great. They can stop wall denial. They can be used as a camera. They can you can even use things that will put your team at a massive advantage by disrupting the other team. Great operator, great guns. They're great. Monty, put my boy in a C tier.
Right. Okay.
Monty is the first shield operator we're getting. They have a riot shield, and their ability is that they get a full force, covers their entire front half shield. Um, they have only a pistol as a sidearm, which is it's not the best. They move incredibly slowly, and if you're not working with your Monty, they can be in they can be a detriment in some cases, and the longer you're playing and the more skilled players you get, the less Monty is going to be helpful because most people know how to counter them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Bandit. Bandit goes in. Bandit goes in. I'd say, yeah, A tier.
I thought you were going to do B for Bandit there, but oh well.
I was going back and forth between A or B. Bandit is wall denial. Bandit can has car batteries that can electrify anything metal. And you can put that on reinforced walls so that if it'd be harder for someone to breach into it. Um, you can also hook it up to barbed wire to make the barbed wire actually do damage. All around, on some maps, it is completely necessary to have. He's got 4 of the batteries, and it's just helpful to have someone that can provide at least a deterrent to some team builds. Jaeger. Jaeger. Jaeger is. Mm, I'd say Jaeger is top of A tier.
Top of A. Okay.
Top of A tier, not necessarily S, but close. Jaeger is purely to stop utility. You set up essentially little turrets, in a sense, and if someone throws a grenade, smoke grenade, flash grenade, um, any essentially any thrown object other than a drone, it will shoot it out the sky, completely neutralize it.
Mm-hmm.
Very good to have. Um, and along with Bandit, they both have good guns.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty useful. Next we have Blitz, F tier or D tier. Actually, no, just no, just no, just no. I despise Blitz with my whole soul. Blitz is another shield operator, if you guys couldn't tell by the icon. Blitz's whole thing is that he runs in with his shield up so you can't shoot him when he's running at you, and he can flash you right in front of you with his shield.
Oh, he's one of those. He's got
Yeah.
he got a strobe on his shield?
Essentially, it's like a bunch of bright lights.
Ooh.
But he essentially just runs at you, flashes you, and then hits you in the knees with his shield. Super irritating. It's a dice roll whether or not he's even going to be good. If you're rushing, he's good to have, I suppose, but he's more just an irritating operator. IQ. IQ gets a C tier.
A C tier. Okay.
Yeah. I like IQ. I like IQ's guns. IQ's guns are doing quite a lot to get there. But their ability is very meh. It allows you to see enemy gadgets through walls up to 15 meters. It's all good. She's good. You can only use her pistol while you're scanning though. She's very situational. If you're good with IQ, go for it. If she's got really good guns. I know some people play her for her guns. Kapkan. Kapkan goes in A tier. Even if they're not the best, they're one of my favorite operators. I just don't play them enough anymore. Kapkan deploys traps on doorways and windows. And if you walk through them, it sets off an explosion that can do, I think, roughly 50 HP. It's really good. You could wire up multiple traps on one doorway, so if someone walks through a doorway, they can actually just immediately die. He's got 5 of the mines, and he can place them on any doorway in the map.
Oh, lovely.
And one of my favorite things to do while playing Kapkan is the classic strategy of, oh, well, they'll never expect a Kapkan on every door.
Proceeds to put Kapkan on every door.
Yeah. It's great rush denial, and they're just they're one of the more fun operators to play. Next we have Tachanka, also known as the Lord. Their ability is a fire grenade launcher. I'd put them B tier. They're good denial. They have an LMG as their main weapon, and it's a big chonky thing. They actually Tachanka is the only operator in the game that got a full rework ability in all. At the beginning of the game, Tachanka's ability was that he would put down a mounted LMG, like a turret, to man, but they changed it to the fire grenade launcher because he was just never used. He was just not a good operator in the slightest, and they never buffed him. Now he's decent. He can create rotates, etc., etc. He's decent. Glaz. This is where my personal bias is going in very strong. Glaz is top of C. Top of C tier. Glaz is objectively a bad operator. Objectively not a good operator, period. They're a sniper. Snipers in Siege are not good because Siege is inside. It's a sieging game, but on Tisk. Snipers are not good. And what's even worse about Glaz is that he doesn't use a sniper rifle. He uses a DMR. So even if you shoot someone with him, it takes like 3 to 5 shots to actually kill someone if it's not a headshot. His advantage is that he has a thermal scope, so he can see people through smoke. That's about it, but I like him. He used to be my main until I started playing better operators. Fuse.
I remember you said something. We were on that presidential plane map, and I think the only time I've ever seen you use Glaz was when they were in a specific location and you were just pot-shotting them from one of the wings.
Yes, Glaz and Callie, who we'll get to Callie much later. As snipers, they can shoot through the windows of plane. Only the sniping operators can shoot through the windows on plane. No other operator can. So that's their slight advantage. But plane is a casual map, so if you're not playing quick match, you're not going to run into it ever.
Fair.
So it's still objectively bad operator, but I like them. Fuse. Fuse B tier. Fuse has Fuse is good for early rounds. Fuse has an ability where he essentially mounts a weird charge thing onto floors or walls, and then he sets it off, and it shoots in a bunch of like I think 5 hockey puck shaped grenades that can bounce around and then explode. Um, he's decent if you catch people off guard. You can destroy utility. You can even potentially damage or eliminate some opponents. However, the later on you get into it, the more people know how to counter it by either shooting the charge through the wall or ceiling hole that it creates, or just running away. um, yeah, next we have Frost. Okay, we're now into DLC characters, which did not have been added slowly. Frost, I'd say A tier. Um, Frost's ability is that they have 3 bear traps that they can place on the ground anywhere on the map, give or take. And if someone walks into them, falls into them, essentially, if someone touches them, they are immediately downed.
Ooh.
No matter how much health they're at. The downside is if you know you're a Frost, if there's a Frost on the other team, you're going to be expecting the Frost mats. So you're going to be looking under windows and such, and just like 2-3 shots from any gun, it's gone. The mat's destroyed. And if someone gets downed, you can always just run over and pick them back up again. They'll be weakened, but they're not out of the game. So, yeah. Also, so really Frost is good for very early play, and ironically enough, very late play. Because the higher in tiers you go, the less people are expecting a Frost. And so some people just don't have the muscle memory of, there's going to be a Frost mat, I gotta watch out. And so it can actually do a bit. But yeah. Next we have Buck. Buck, B tier. I don't like Buck. His guns feel weird when I'm trying to use them, but he's arguably good. His ability is that he's got an underbarrel shotgun with 20 shots. And it's good for blowing holes in you name it. If it's as long as it's not reinforced, you can blow a hole into it. It does super good damage, good spread, but like, it's personal opinion. He's not a bad operator. He doesn't excel at anything, in my opinion. He's essentially a sledge with a bit more range and fewer shots.
Okay.
Yeah. Valkyrie. Valkyrie is an A tier. Valkyrie has 3 handheld cameras that you can throw across the map and they stick to things. They're very hard to see. She's good. She's really irritating to go against, but in some ways that's a good thing. She would probably be an S tier if it weren't for her recent debuff that makes it so that if she throws cameras outside, they no longer work after like 5 to 10 seconds.
Oh.
She's very good. Blackbeard. I call him Craig, that's his first name. But Blackbeard, put him in F tier. I hate that man. Blackbeard's ability is that he has a glass shield that he can put on top of his guns. He's got 2 of them, and they can take 1 or 2 shots from guns, and it won't do any damage to him. It's essentially, he's headshot repellent. But he is just so irritating and so like not fun to play as or against. In my opinion, at least. He's just I don't like him. I really don't like him. Kavira, Cav C tier.
Okay.
I like Cav. Cav's ability is it's a complex ability. It's called Silent Step, but it's more than that. Cav, when you activate your Cav's ability, she walks slightly like all of her movements are, I believe, slightly faster, a lot quieter. She has a silenced pistol that does good damage, and is meant for downing people rather than killing them. And if you walk up to a downed person, you can interrogate them, which will both um, eliminate them and show your teammates every other enemy operator on the map for a short amount of
Ooh,
time.
now that seems useful.
She's really good, but she's also really squishy. Um, really squishy, and if people are watching out for roamers or have something that can help locate roamers, she gets defeated pretty easily. She's very mid. She can be good, but it depends on situations and all that. Capitao. Capitao's probably top of C, bottom of B, one of those two.
Let's throw in bottom of B, because then it looks nicer when you've got all the colours going.
Yeah, Capitao, decent guns. Um, he's a good all-around operator, and his abilities are, he's got a crossbow that can shoot 2 crossbow bolts that cause fire on the ground and 2 that cause a small smoke. There's a lot of nuance to how you can use the smokes and stuff, where you can make it so that there's like one-way sights and all that. I don't know how to do any of that. I fully recognize that he can be a good operator. I don't see him that much, and he's somewhat forgettable to me. He's cool, but he's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Echo. Echo, top of B.
Top of B. Okay, we'll do that then.
Yeah.
There you go.
Echo. I find Echo's good. Echo's ability is that he's got 2 drones that you can stick to metal surfaces on the ceilings and such. They work as cameras, and they can shoot a disorienting blast. He's cameras, and if someone is planting the diffuser, you can shoot the disorienting blast at them, and it'll stop their diffusing process. It disorients them. It's good, but if you want to do that, it's got to be, you got to make sure that you stay alive. And there's a lot of, and Echo's, I think 2 seasons ago or so, got a debuff where his drones are no longer camouflaged. So you can see the drones on the ceiling. If you see it, you pop it, it's gone. Very good. Hibana. Hibana goes up to S tier.
Oh.
This is me doing the whole, I know that they're good, and the problem is, I don't use Hibana much. I know Hibana is very good. Huge potential. I'm just not great with their gun. Hibana's another hard breacher. Hibana has the most variety in how you can use, well, no, the second most variety in how much you can do with their hard breaching. Because you can shoot different amounts of pellets to make different sizes holes, and it really just varies in what you're actually hard breaching for. You can do a lot with them. They're very useful. But if you don't know what to do exactly, it can be a little and they fall flat when it comes to making big holes in walls. But still very good. Mira. Mira's also going in S tier. I love Mira. Mira's ability is that they can put one-way mirrors on soft and reinforced walls, and if need be, they can open that mirror to create a small opening to shoot through. Very good. Can change the entire way a site is played. I love them. Their gun is I like their gun. They've got a secondary shotgun, which makes them great for site setup. They're great, and I'd consider some sites like it's a bit of a no-brainer if you don't have them on some sites.
Mm-hmm.
Jackal. I do not like Jackal.
Mm-hmm.
Top of C tier. And they would definitely be higher if I was being objective. I am not. Jackal's ability is that he likes feet. He can see the footprints of enemies, and if he scans them, he can see exactly where they are on the map for a short amount of time, and it's shown to all of the teammates too. He is great for denying roamers because he can locate them long after they've left an area.
So he's like a sniffer dog, basically.
Almost exactly. I don't like him though because you can be about to flank someone and then they all turn on you because Jackal's there. Or you can just be casually setting up something in sight, holding an angle, and then he can spot you, and then you have to move to a different angle because his entire team knows exactly where you were holding. He's irritating, but he's helpful. Lesion, top of A tier.
Top of A tier.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't have a drink anymore. That's just...
Oh. I also
Lesion.
don't have a drink. Oh well.
Yeah, Legion's ability is that he's got 7 mines that charge slowly over time, and he can throw them on the ground. If an enemy steps on them, it gives a sound cue. It slows them down, and if they don't pull out the tack that's in their foot, it will slowly start damaging them. They cannot sprint while it is in. They have a good gun. Legion is all around a great operator. I don't use them much because the big part about Legion is that if you want to get the most bang for your buck out of Legion, you survive. You have to live because his ability, you don't get all 5 right away. They slowly charge.
Ah.
It's a catch-22. Ying. Ying is B tier.
I think I know what Ying is.
You definitely do know what Ying is. The bottom tiers are looking mighty empty, but that's because they do good at operator balancing. But anyways, back to Ying. Ying has 3 candelas, which are mines that can be either throw and roll or throw and immediately detonate. And what they do is they shoot off. You can also attach them to walls or doors to shoot through the walls, doors, ceilings, etc. Similar to Fuse. But what they do is they don't launch explosives, they launch flashes. They launch 5 flash grenades all into a room, and there's very little one can do about it. It flashes everyone except for Ying or Warden, but we'll get to Warden later. They've got a good gun, it's got a lot of ammo, decent damage. They're a nuisance at best, but I mean, if you aren't in the room that gets flashed or you see the candela rolling, you can shoot the candela, it'll destroy it, no one gets flashed.
So attempt failed.
Yeah, attempt failed, and it's really bad because when I said it flashes everyone, I mean it flashes everyone, teammates included.
Ugh.
So if there are teammates in the site and you flash it, well now no one can see but you. And your teammates are blind, the enemies are blind, or not, depending on how their positioning is.
Yeah.
And it can do more harm than good.
I'm
Ella,
gonna pause you. I'm gonna pause you right
Okay.
there. Because we're coming up to 35 minutes on this episode. I think this is going to be a 2-parter, so
yeah,
if you
guess
want
it's gonna have to be a 2-parter. Sorry about that. I've been trying to get through them.
No, you're fine. If you want to find out how we rank the rest of these Rainbow Six Siege operators, then you'll have to just tune in next time, won't you now?
Woo! Yeah. Tune in next time.
Alrighty. See you next time for part 2 of Rainbow Six Siege Operators. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye bye. Say bye then.
Bye.